Same thing. All right, so name is Chad Suter, born and raised in Vista, California. Still here, I love it here. Don't think I'll ever move. Got into skateboarding when I was about 8 years old. Classic story, found a skateboard in a garage. I've been distracted by drawing my whole life. So all my notebooks had flip books in them, like the ball bouncing or stuff like that. It wasn't until about a year ago that I put some time into this instead of it being, I'm taking notes on a call or something and I'm doodling on the side. It's really my wife being like, hey, carve out some time for yourself, which most of the stuff I do now, I owe to my wife and my kids for teaching me so much. I'm a stay-at-home, work-from-home dad, filmmaker. We homeschool our kids. The majority of our life is either within these walls or in our yard, which we've built the big old mini ramp. Got a chicken coop. We're just figuring out life as a unit. Seeing them get into stuff has reminded me so much about what I liked when I was younger. My kids' art is insane. My oldest is extremely into art. She's extremely into writing. With my son, he'll do Etch-a-Sketch art. I'm a believer in keeping instruments out. I'm seeing all these little things everywhere that you can just pull down and start getting creative with. Guitar over here in the corner, I play that maybe once a week, not as much as I'd want to, but if it was put away or in a case somewhere, it would never get played. So all this stuff is out, reachable. You can just pull something off the shelf and start doodling. I think when it started, I wanted it to be a therapeutic thing where I go and I sit and I have this moment of expression and it's this artistic endeavor and everything. But no, it's just fun and it still feels like an experiment at this point. Sometimes I'll be sitting on the couch watching The Office with my kids and working on a piece like this and we're just hanging out. Sometimes we're all spread out across the table working on different things together, and then other times I'm in the garage in the dark with music on, working on a piece. It's different every time. I'm learning what it actually means to me by working on this stuff. The last couple years have been a lot of doing things for my younger self. Skateboarding is a huge part of that. It's been a common thread throughout my life, but really leaning more into skateboarding and especially being able to do it with the kids. Whether we're just sitting on a curb, posted up, doing nothing, hanging out, talking, or skating, trying to battle a trick. It's the same way you watch a skate video and you feel inspired to go skate. Skate videos now, some clips will be oh, I want to go paint that. And with these, as soon as I see a clip that's oh, I want to paint that or I want to draw that, I have to start it that day. Because you lose inspiration, motivation pretty quickly. And I know if I let a day go by where I don't start working on it, then I'll completely lose the motivation to do it. I did animation really similar to this in After Effects, where it's frame by frame drawings. And I started an account for it and everything. And that process was super fun, but again, it was just taking time away from editing, documentary work, whatever I was working on, to then stare at a screen even longer to do this animation. So this, I think, is a reach for something more tangible and something off of the screen. From a technical standpoint, you look at one frame and to me it's lacking, but when it all plays out, it looks pretty cool. It's fun to watch. I've daydreamed about what would an art show look like with this stuff. I don't think it's there yet though. Jordan hit me up recently and asked me if I could create an animation for Dabble. issue 20, the Tony Trujillo story, and I was kind of locked up with the project that I was already working on. And my son actually does animations in Procreate, so I just like, hey, Jordan wants me to do this animation, do you think you could take it over? And he's like, oh, let me see, what is it? So I sent it to him, did his thing for about an hour, and then popped out an animation. The way that he does it, I don't know anything about the app that he uses, but it was cool to see his work be in the issue before mine. You get tied up in work and business and life and you don't feel like you have time for anything else. I didn't feel like I had time to set aside to go sit in my garage and play my guitar or doodle in a notebook or journal or read, anything like that. But like forcing myself to carve out, and even if it's just an hour, 20 minutes, whatever it is, through doing that, somehow it's given me more time to do all the other things. It doesn't make sense, but waste an hour a day and then somehow it became more like fulfilled, happy, productive. And I think everything has benefited from this.